Hi, so I'm here with part 2, and I'm doing kind of a speak even if your voice shakes kind of thing right now. Earlier I posted a video regarding an upcoming comedy festival that is located in Saudi Arabia. I made this video mainly to point out that comedy has become a situationship, so to speak, of elitist comedians with a big platform and a big voice that really do not represent the ability to stand up against genocide. Now, Saudi Arabia has made statements that they are not complicit in genocide. However, their actions are completely the opposite, terrorizing the people of Yemen and blockading the people of Yemen and bombing the people of Yemen. And so the people of Yemen have stood up, the government of Yemen has stood up and stood on business for the Palestinian people. The reason why I bring this up and the reason why I personally called the Comedy Mothership today is because the comedians that are on the bill for this upcoming comedy festival in Saudi Arabia are comedians that at one point in their life have bits and specials completely against everything that this comedy situationship is representing. Again, I'm going to bring up the comedian Louis C.K., who had a show called Louis and has 2 episodes fully embracing the fact that he, I believe, was on a USO tour. And why I bring that up is because the reason why he was on a USO tour, we can go back all the way to the year of 2001 in the United States of America. My last video I talked about US veterans, but the other thing I want to focus on is these comedians are fully being complicit in genocide. Yes, they're famous. Yes, they have big platforms. Yes, people love them. Yes, a lot of them have beautiful hair. Yes, a lot of them get Botox or whatever the fuck they get. A lot of them have multiple houses and properties. Into where comedy has shifted. Where comedy was people like Moms Mabley, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks, Sam Kinison. The list goes on of comedians that were calling out regimes that created genocide. By the way, if you start comedy, a lot of Comedy 101, I started comedy both overseas in New Zealand as well as in New York City. And a lot of the beginning jokes that comedians write are about the Holocaust. A lot of comedians make Holocaust jokes. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill sort of what comedians talk about when they're first learning how to write jokes. So I'm very confused as to why these very famous 1%er comedians, and I am calling a lot of y'all 1%ers, like Tom Segura, Bill Burr, who was friends with frickin' Patrice O'Neal. And they both started on Opie and Anthony. That's how they got their vibe going. You know what I'm saying? Like, legit, Patrice O'Neal and Bill Burr were like soulmate comics. I have another video about how I think that Mark Maron and Joe Rogan are soulmates. I think that Patrice O'Neal and frickin' Bill Burr are soulmates, or were, like a soulmate comedy duo. I am a student of comedy, and I distinctly remember this. Patrice wouldn't stand for this. And I think that we really need to recognize that this comedy festival in Saudi Arabia is kind of a effed up situation. Peace to Yemen. And can we please talk about how this is genocide and that Saudi Arabia is fully complicit in this genocide, and it's probably going to get freaking worse before it gets better. I'm just saying. Why, it's so disheartening these days. Speaking of Hart, speaking of Mr. Hart himself, come on y'all, get it together.